Good afternoon. You're listening to Louisiana Focus. I'm Zane Hill.
And I'm John Weatherall.
UL recently hosted a debate among the three candidates for the 15th Judicial Circuit. Nick Fontenot has the report.
If the pedestrian and bicycle traffic on campus raises red flags for you, Zane will be providing some answers with a report on the campus master plan.
More hotels are popping up around Lafayette. Is this a sign that tourism is growing? Seth Fungi has the report. Last Monday, three district judge candidates debated before a journalist panel on UL Lafayette's campus. Nick Fontenot brings you more on the outcome.
It's a familiar phrase. The wheels of justice grind slowly. Too slowly, in fact, for the candidates running in the 15th Judicial District. Susan Thial.
We need to return to what we did when we originally started family court, which is to have matters heard within the first 3 weeks.
Republican Thial, a candidate for the 15th Judicial District Division M, along with her two opponents, Marshall Montgomery and Kay Correa-Gotro, also Republicans, came to campus to take part in a debate sponsored by the Society of Professional Journalists chapter at UL Lafayette. Members of the local news media asked an array of questions, ranging from cameras in the courtroom, Kay Correa-Gotro.
I personally believe that when cameras go into the courtroom, it does have an effect upon the process.
To the ethics of meeting their opponents in the courtroom after the campaign, Marshall Montgomery.
It's a very small community that we live in. I have cases with Susan, I've had cases with Kay, and we will continue to have cases. One of us is going to win, and the other two are going to have cases against each other. If I had my druthers, it would go this way. But I don't have my druthers.
The candidates, all UL alumni, proposed different solutions to the family court system they felt would serve to speed up justice. Gotro says the current two-tiered process, where a hearing officer steps in before the trial to reach a settlement, causes a great delay in the proceedings.
And when you walk onto the third floor of the courthouse, you see what looks like a gauntlet of lawyers and clients sitting in the hallway. And if you can imagine the hourly rates that are being charged, it becomes a very frustrating process for everyone.
Gotro is calling for a weighted system, where not every case is forced to go through the two-tiered process. Montgomery believes some cases can be resolved just by better communication.
If I end up being elected, and hopefully I will, that'll be one of the things that'll come out of my mouth right at the beginning is, have you discussed the issues? What is in dispute? Because oftentimes it is a very small thing that's in dispute that just kind of bleeds over into the rest of the matters. So if you can get that one thing fixed, then maybe it goes away.
Thial says the family court currently has orders in place to assure lawyers are discussing cases ahead of time, but the orders are being ignored and not being enforced.
If we have accountability and enforcement of some of the practices and the orders that are currently in place, that would make a big difference.
The judgeship in District 15 encompasses Lafayette, Acadia, and Vermilion parishes and has been vacant since District Judge Phyllis Montgomery Cady was elected to the Third Circuit Court of Appeal last year. Voters will decide between Gotro, Montgomery, and Thial this Saturday. For Louisiana Focus, I'm Nick Fontenot, KRVS.
Pedestrians and bicyclists confront hazards every day on the university campus. Zane Hill looks at the master plan designed to address it.
To call UL Lafayette's campus of nearly 17,000 students and faculty crowded might be an understatement. New Iberia senior Alex Bandaquala fights his way up that stream every day on his bicycle.
It's kind of scary because you're either driving or riding on St. Mary where it's like 20, 35 miles an hour speed limits, or you're riding in between pedestrian traffic on the sidewalks. So it's kind of nerve-wracking sometimes because you don't want to hit anyone or you don't want to get hit.
Director of Facilities Management Bill Christ says bicycle use on campus was almost non-existent years before. Now, as the sidewalks improve, the bicycles increase, and so does the virtual traffic jam to go with it.
I don't get a lot of complaints, but I hear a lot of comments, and nobody's happy with the way that things flow on campus.
Architect Southwest Principal Steve Oob says he is working on possible solutions for the pedestrian and bicycle commute on campus as part of his larger campus master plan. This plan, which he describes as a roadmap for the university to achieve its goals 15 to 20 years down, recently benefited from an on-campus workshop, which saw nationally leading experts in parking structure and traffic engineering and bicycle consultants giving their 2 cents.
And it was interesting to note that while we were talking parking of automobiles, we're also talking about the importance of bicycling and how it works best when parking is placed properly on campus. So we brought those two engineers at the same table to debate the merits of one versus the other and create a concept around what works in the real world in communities that's currently doing it. It was a phenomenal exercise, and they'll be here for the charrette as well to take it to the next level.
This charrette is another on-campus workshop. The purpose of this one, Oob says, is to engage stakeholders like students, faculty, and the community at large in helping to develop concepts for the master plan. Oob hopes to generate concepts to present to the public along with their projected costs. This workshop will last from October 25th to November 3rd. Christ, who has held his position for 12 years, says he hopes to see a reduction in surface parking, an increase of parking garages on the edges of campus, and bike-specific paths. Covington freshman Liz Larman agrees.
I think that'd definitely help because I'm tired of having to look around to see if someone's going to, run over me.
Larman says a biker recently ran into her while walking and left her with a large bruise. Christ hopes his goal of creating a virtual utopia for pedestrians and bicycles on campus will make the university more appealing.
If we can achieve all those goals that we're trying to achieve through this process, then it's hard for a student that walks on this campus to say, I want to be anywhere else.
For Louisiana Focus, I'm Zane Hill, KRVS.
Lafayette continues to expand its hotel industry, but is tourism strong enough to fill the rooms? Seth Fungi has more on the story.
Last weekend marked the 39th annual Festival Acadien de Creole held here in Lafayette. People from all over the country came to watch the bands, eat the local cuisine, and experience a little Cajun culture. One thing that keeps Lafayette celebrating is that tourism keeps growing. With a growing tourism base comes a need for more hotels. Hotels in Lafayette have been going up quickly. The $10 million Hilton, recently built, just held its grand opening last month, and a new boutique hotel in the newly developed Park Lafayette is scheduled to break ground soon. Lafayette holds the number 6 spot on the top 15 fastest-growing economies list put out by the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Benjamin Roberts, the assistant front office manager for the Hilton Lafayette, explains why Acadiana continues to open more hotels.
Research has shown that Lafayette is one of the fastest-growing economies. Oil industry obviously has a big effect on it. But there's a lot of industries that are indirectly based around the oil industry that help the tourism industry. The medical industry in Lafayette's growing. The university is growing. There's a lot of research going on in Lafayette. I believe that this will help the hotel industry and that it'll give it some diversification.
A strong indicator that the hotel industry remains intact is the continual opening of hotels in the area and the fact that none are closing. Lafayette has a smaller market compared to other cities like Baton Rouge and New Orleans. However, with the attractions like festivals, Lafayette could have a bigger future ahead.
I believe Lafayette could definitely have some effect on the tourism in the future. Best festivals, I think, in the state, Festival International and Festival Acadien. They're both free, both have great music and great food, great atmosphere. I think the Festival International rivals the Jazz Fest in New Orleans.
Eugenie Mitchell is the marketing manager for the Lafayette Conventions and Visitors Commission. She feels Lafayette brings tourists in because of its uniqueness to other cities in the country.
People come to Lafayette for our music, swamp pop, zydeco, Cajun. We have food that's fabulous and unique, and our people. Our people have a joie de vivre, a joy of life that you won't find anywhere else.
Lafayette did not start out with a strong tourism base like it has now. Corporate travel at one time was the biggest supplier of visitors to Lafayette. Because Lafayette is so close to the Gulf and in the middle of many major markets, the oil industry took off, creating a demand for more occupancy. Eugenie feels that even though Lafayette started as a corporate travel-based industry, those with corporate travel are feeling the effects of tourism as well.
Corporate travel in Lafayette sells more hotel rooms, I would think, mainly because we're in the oil hub. But when people come in for corporate business, they usually do something fun too. They're going to go eat at a Cajun music and dancing restaurant, which is part of tourism, or they may visit one of our villages, like Acadian Village or Vermilionville. So they complement each other.
With tourism on an upswing, more hotel companies feel they need a presence in Lafayette to capitalize on the growing need for occupancy in the city. The biggest growth in Lafayette, hotel-wise, has been with limited-service properties. Compared to full-service hotels like the Hilton Lafayette, limited-service properties are less expensive and have a shorter build time. However, Lafayette has reached a need for more full-service properties.
We could definitely use a convention hotel near the convention center to bring in more big business. A full-service hotel in the market would be good.
Tourism in Lafayette is sure to grow in the future, and the hotel industry is already feeling the effects. It's obvious that the fact that hotels continue to go open